Acceptance is essential for a valid donation to be subject to donor stock except. I want you to take note of this. If there is direct donation, acceptance is necessary. If it is indirect donation, it may not. What is indirect donation? Yun yung transfers for less than and full adequate consideration. A. Interest by the donor. Taxable yan. Business interest by the donor in the favor of stranger. Taxable. D. By Filipino residents to non-residents. Yes. The answer is C. For less than adequate consideration. C. Ang tawag dyan, indirect donation. 3. The donation of an immovable property shall be made immovable. Public instrument. Boy. Number 4. Using the preceding number, acceptance by the donee may be made. Is it A, in the same deed of donation? Yes. In a separate document? Yes. The answer is letter C, either A or B. Para mawala yung antok natin, sagot tayo, no? Sumagot tayo, ha? No, my friends. Number 5. The donation of a movable property may be made A, orally. Yes. Provided 5,000 or less. In excess of 5,000, in writing. So the answer is letter C, either A or B. Number 6, using the preceding number, the donation and acceptance should be in writing if the value of the property donated is more than 5,000. Dog. 7, a donation which takes effect upon the death of a donor. Is it A, donation mortis causa? Yes. Partakes of the nature of a testamentary disposition? Yes, through a last will and testament. C, shall be governed by the law on succession? Yes. The answer is dog. A, B, and C. Number 9, which is incorrect concerning donation? A, real property is transferred by donation only if made, number 8. A donation which is intended by the donor to take effect during his lifetime. A, shall be subject to donor's tax using tax table for donation under the old. Yes. B, shall be in writing if the value exceeds 5,000. Yes. Donation inter vivos. Yes. The answer here is dog A, B, C. If old, test bank. If new, test bank, B and C only. Okay, class? Number 9, which is incorrect concerning donation? Incorrect. A, real property is transferred by donation only if made under public instrument. Yes. B, donation of intangible property should be in writing. Public instrument. B. Let's check C and D. Personal property amounting to more than 5,000 should be in writing. Yes. No one can be forced to accept the generosity of another. Yes. The answer is B. 10. Which is correct regarding transfer inter vivos involving personal properties for less than an adequate and full consideration? A, the whole value of the property will be included in gross gift. Di ba class, yung lang taxable dito, yung difference ng fair value tsaka selling price? Kasi yung difference ng selling price tsaka cost income tax yun. Di ba class? So mali, it's not the whole value. Is it B, the difference in fair value and consideration is a gift subject to donor's tax? Yes, letter B. But I want you to take note of this. When you encounter transfer for less than adequate or full consideration in the board exam, if there is mentioned provision that it is a bona fide sale, even if it is a transfer for less than adequate consideration, exempt siya. Pag sinabing bona fide sale, hindi na siya taxable sa transfer tax. Pag sinabing bona fide sale, okay lang nun. Pinapa-disregard nila yung difference. For numbers 11 to 19, indicate whether covered by donor's tax, estate, income, or pwedeng lahat or dalawa. 11. Take note class ha, pag sinabing revocable transfer, hindi yung taxable sa donor's tax class. Estate yan, kung namatay siya. Pero kung winave niya yung right niya, donor's tax. Hindi po ba class? Kasi di ba incomplete transfers to? So yung incomplete transfers, kapag na-complete siya during lifetime of the donor, donor's tax. Pag namatay, estate. Okay lang po? Another thing, my friends, I want you to take note. There is this what we call general renunciation of the right to receive the estate. Halimbawa, magkapatid kaming tatlo class. Namatay yung tatay namin. And then, nagkaroon ng renunciation on my part as an heir. Taxable ba yun o hindi? Tandaan. Kapag general renunciation lang yun, exempt. Pero kung sinabi ko, yung share ko ilipat kay ma'am, specific renunciation, taxable yun. What if ganito? Dalawa lang kami magkapatid. General renunciation. Sa kanya na lang, di ba, class? General, di ba? Wala naman ako ibang kapatid, class, di ba? Siya lang. O specific sa kanya. Di ba parehas lang? Yung general tsaka specific renunciation, kung dalawa kayo, exempt yun. Para matandaan nyo, my friends, pag sinabing general renunciation, exempt, my friends, na exempt. The only taxable is when the renunciation is made to specific person if the heirs or the brothers and sisters or siblings are more than 2. Kung dalawa lang sila, kung specific yan, exempt pa rin. Ngayon, iba usapan kung si mami, yung asawa. The share of the surviving spouse, kapag winave na yung right niya class, there is a renunciation. Whether general or specific, taxable yun. Iba yung sa asawa class. Kapag asawa ang nag-waive ng right niya, taxable. Whether general or specific. So, to make it, my friends, no, to sum it up, my friends, sandaan natin ganito. We have general, we have specific renunciation, di ba class? So, kung sakali lang, my friends, there are only 2 siblings and there is general renunciation or specific. Ano yan, class? Exempt? Exempt. What if more than 2 siblings? Pag more than 2 siblings, pag general, exempt. Pag specific, taxable. E paano class kung yan ay share of surviving spouse? Pag yan ay share of surviving spouse, whether general or specific, taxable, taxable. So yan ang ating babantayan kapag may renunciation na class. Good kayong magpapalito dyan, my friends. Kaya-kaya yan. Ay, sorry po. Okay, my friends. Number 11, a person transferred properties in trust in favor of another and the trust is irrevocable. Irrevocable means complete transfer. Taxable, donor's tax. Buhay siya eh. DT. 12, a person transferred properties in trust in favor of another person and the trust is revocable. O kailan yan magiging taxable? Pag namatay siya. Estate tax. 13. A person transferred properties in trust in favor of another and the trust is designated as revocable, which the transferor failed to revoke by the time of his or her death. Estate tax. 14. A person transferred personal properties to another during his lifetime, pakinote class, for less than adequate consideration. The transfer is to take effect upon the death of the transferor. Estate. 15. A person transferred personal properties to another during his lifetime for less than adequate consideration. The transfer is to take effect immediately. By the way, yung 14, aside from estate tax, may income tax ka rin. Yung difference ng selling price tsaka cost. Di ba, class? Dalawang tax. For 15, there is a transfer to take immediately. Donor's tax and income tax. DTIT. 16. A person transferred a real property classified as capital asset capital asset during his lifetime for less than adequate consideration. The transfer is to take effect upon death. Take note, my friends, this is a capital asset. It should be subject to CGT. Wala na siyang estate tax lang, CGT na lang. Next, kapag capital asset lang, my friends, of 17, a person transferred a real property classified as capital asset to take immediately income tax. 17, IT. 18, CGT means IT, no class? A person transferred properties to another during his life, paki-underline class, adequate consideration, income tax lang. Walang gratuitous transfer. Okay, game. 19. Which of the following are taxable under donor's tax exempt? Transfers made by the donor to relieve himself of the burden of management. Taxable. Transfers made by the donor to settle family disputes. Donor's tax. Associated with life, no class? Transfers made by a parent to see his children enjoy his properties while he is still alive. Donor's tax. The answer is dog. General appointment. That is in, my friends, no? Exempt for non-taxable. 20, which is incorrect. Incorrect, class, ha? Donation of non-resident aliens involving properties located abroad to residents of the Philippines is exempt from donor's tax. Yes, located abroad, class. Di ba taxable sa Philippines lang? B. Renunciation of inheritance by an heir to another is not subject to general tax. Pag sinabing renunciation, ang basis mo nun, general. Unless specifically stated, no? As, yun na nga, specific. So this is correct. C. Donation by a non-resident to a non-resident alien is exempt from donors? Hindi po. Non-resident citizen siya, class. Taxable siya. C. 21. Which of the following donation may, paki-under in class, may be exempt? So, possible. No? Donation of a resident alien of its properties located abroad. Tandaan, class, di ba? We don't care about who is the recipient. Giver tayo, di ba, class? Transferor, donor. Taxable yan. Global properties ang resident alien. B. Donation of non-resident alien of real properties located in the Philippines. Taxable yan. Donation of non-resident alien. Pakinote to, class. Intangible properties located to Philippines. Yes. Under reciprocity rule. Letter C. 22. Which of the following is not included in the gross gift? A. Transfers to non-profit charitable institution. Included yan, class. But, included din sa deduction. Kasali ba siya sa gross gift? Yes. B. Eto, class. The portion of the fair value of the property transferred adequately paid for in transfer for less than, yung selling price ba kasali? Hindi. It's only the difference of the fair value and selling price. Let's check letter C. The portion of the donation representing dowry exemption, kasali sa gross gift. Kasali sin sa deduction. Donation to the government for public use, kasali. The answer is boy. 23. Donation to the following entities is exempt from donor's taxation. Exempt. Kasama ba tong letter A, class? Pick pa? No. You might be wondering why we have so much theories for today. for donor's tax. The reason is that in the past 2 years of the CP board exam, it's more on problem solving practice. We can never tell, baka mag-theory siya ngayon taon. Parang advac. Long time ago, puro solving. Pero nabigla ka last October, puro theories. So, binabalanse lang natin, my friends, no? Next, 24. So, please, no, let's give an importance with these theory questions. True or false? Okay, pwede. Dowries or gifts made on account of family celebration on or before its celebration or within 1 year thereafter by parents to which their legitimate, recognized, natural or adopted children to the extent of the first 10,000 shall be exempt from donor's tax. True or false? False. It's not family celebration. Marriage. Di ba, my friends? False. Pag nagbigay ng theory ganyang class, ibig sabihin, Old Testament yan. So, it's false, my friends. 2. Donations in favor of an educational and or charitable, religious, cultural, or social welfare corporation, institution, accredited NGO, trust or philanthropic organization or research institution, organization, provided that no amount of said gifts shall be used by the donee for administration purposes shall be exempt from donor's tax. Is it no amount of said gifts be used for admin? Di ba pwede naman up to 30%? False. Di ba medyo nakakalto siya, no, class? Maging maingat tayo sa true or false. Very technical siya. 25. Game. If the value of the movable property is, pakinote class, 5,000 or more, the donation and acceptance shall be made in writing? No. It should be more than 5,000. B. Regardless of the value of the immovable property donated, the donation and acceptance shall be made in writing. Otherwise, the donation shall be void. False. It's not writing. It should be public instrument. Correct. Dog. 26. The gift is perfected from the moment, perfected class, the donor effects the delivery either actually or constructively of the property donated. False. It is when the donor has the knowledge of the acceptance of the donee. 2. Donor's tax is a property tax imposed on the property transferred by way of gift interview was. Take note, this is false. There's no such thing as property tax for donor's tax. It is a privilege tax, my friends. Hindi siya property tax. Privilege tax po siya. False, false. Common mistake yun, no, class? 27. True or false ulit? Where property is transferred during lifetime, for less than adequate and full consideration in money or money's worth, then the amount by which the value of the property exceeded the value of consideration. So, mataas daw ang fair value sa selling price. Shall for the purpose of donor's tax be deemed a gift. True. Gifts of conjugal means common property, no? Made by both spouses shall be considered as having been made one half by the husband and the other half by the wife, and is taxable one half to each donor spouse. Yes, true. The answer is true and true. Okay. For purpose of donor's tax, second-degree cousins are strangers to each other. Yes, my friends. Second-degree cousins, hanggang first cousin lang tayo. Encumbrance on the property donated, meaning liability or mortgage attached to the donated asset, if assumed by the donor, is deductible for donor's tax purposes. True. Ito yun, no? Obligations assumed by the donee. 29. True, no? 29. As a rule, donation between husband and wife during the marriage is void. True as a rule. Except for moderate gifts as a rule. Correct yan. Donation can be made to conceive or unborn children. The answer is true, provided it should be received by a trustee or the parent of that unconceived child. Pwede po yan. Naklas? Pwede. Can be, sabi niya, can be made. Pwede siya, my friends. Sulat mo na yung condition. Provided it is received by a representative who is legally capacitated. Pwede yun, class. Swerte, no? Hindi pa man napapanganak, no? Meron ng donation. Ayos. 30. First statement. When the donee is a stranger, ay class, depende ito kung old or new, ha, class? Kung old or new, no? Old muna tayo, class. When the donee is a stranger, the tax payable by the donor shall be 30% of the net gifts. True. But for new, false. 6%. When the donee is a relative, the tax payable by the donor shall be based on the schedule rates. True. But for old, false. Ay, for new, false. Meaning, letter A is the answer if the question is for old. B if for new. Both are incorrect. Paano yun, sir, sa board exam? New ka, ha? New. Unless the problem states the date is before 2018. The effectivity of train law. 31. For purposes of donor's tax, a stranger is a person who is not a brother, sister, whether by whole or half-blood, spouse, ancestor, and lineal. By the way, what is lineal descendant? Pag sinabi kasing lineal, class, bababa. Taas. Lineal to, class. Lineal. Ang lineal, ascendant, yun yung mga ninuno mo. Walang limit dyan. Lineal descendant, apo mo. Anak mo, apo mo. Walang limit dyan, class. Kahit 5 rows pa yan, okay lang. True. Relative by consanguinity, pakinuto, class. With 5th degree ba, class? No, it's 4th degree. Only the first statement is correct. 32. A legally adopted child is entitled to all the rights and obligations provided by law to legitimate children, and therefore donation to him shall not be considered as donation made to stranger. True. Donation between business organization and those made between an individual and a business shall be considered as donation made to a stranger. Yes. Because an organization is a juridical entity. 33. Any contributions in cash or in kind to any candidate, political party, or coalition of parties for campaign purposes shall be governed by the election code as amended. True. Any provision of law to the contrary, notwithstanding any contribution in cash or in kind to any candidate or political party or coalition of parties for campaign purposes duly reported to the COMELEC shall not be subject to the payment of any gift tax. True. Both are correct. 34. The donor's tax is a, take note, my friends, it's not property tax, it's not personal tax. It is a tax imposed on the transfer of property by way of gift inter vivos. Letter C. 35. True or false? The donor's tax shall not apply unless and until there is completed gift. Correct. Actually, the law, my friend, states that whether completed or perfected, okay lang siya. Completed or perfected. Pero much better kung perfected, class. Second statement, the law enforced at the time of perfection or completion, di ba, class? of the donation shall govern the imposition of the donor's tax. Yes, both statements are correct. When is the donation perfected? It is when the moment the donor knows the acceptance of the donee or by the donee. 37. When is the donation completed? Tandaan class, mas mauna to. Delivered. The moment the donated property is delivered, either actually or constructively to the donee. 38. A gift that is incomplete because of reserved powers, meaning incomplete, transfer class becomes complete when either the donor renounces or waives the power. Yes, true. The right to exercise the reserved power ceases because of the happening of some or contingency or the fulfillment of some condition other than because of the donor's death. True. A. Okay, dito tayo class. 39. Which of the following renunciations shall be subject to donor's tax? My friends, renunciation by surviving spouse of his or her share in the conjugal partnership or absolute community after the dissolution of the marriage in favor of the heirs of the deceased spouse or any other person. Yes, pag siya nagkaroon, whether general or specific, taxable. General renunciation by an heir including the surviving spouse. Pinakasali niya yung surviving spouse, taxable siya. Meaning yung general renunciation na yan, my friends, no? Supposedly, di ba class, yung general renunciation by an heir, di ba exempt yun? E kaso kasi may surviving spouse, taxable siya. Three, renunciation by an heir, including the surviving spouse of his or her heir in the hereditary estate left by the categorically in favor of identified heirs to the exclusion or disadvantage of the other co-heirs. Specific to, my friends, no? Kasali. But for me, my friends, you know what? Yung number 2 statement has a defect. Di ba yung general renunciation exempt? Huy. So, kung titingnan nyo, my friends, yung tamang tagot talaga dito, 1 and 3. Yung number 2 kasi, only the share of the surviving spouse is taxable. Okay lang, class? So, okay lang ba? Iluto mo lang yung number 2, partial lang. Di ba, class? Partial lang. So, let's make it, my friends, yung total na lang, yun yung mga included. So, 1 and 3. C. Number 40, mali yung construction ng problem. Okay, my friends. Okay, my friends. 40, first statement. Where property other than real property that is been subjected to final capital gains tax is transferred for less than an adequate and full consideration in money or money's worth, then the amount by which the fair market value of the property at the time of the execution of the contract to sell or execution of the deed of sale which is not preceded by a contract to sell, ayos exceeded the value of the agreed or actual consideration or selling price shall be deemed a gift and shall be included in computing the gifts. False. Kasi di ba whichever is higher tayo sa capital gains? False. Real property siya. The law enforced at the time of the completion of the donation shall govern the imposition of the owner's tax. Yes. Only the second statement is correct. 41. Husband and wife are considered separate and distinct taxpayers for purposes of the donor's tax. Yes, true. If what was donated is a conjugal or community property, and only the husband signed the deed of donation, there is only one donor for donor's tax purposes, without prejudice to the right of the wife to question the validity of donation without her consent pursuant to the pertinent provisions of the Civil Code of the Philippines and the Family Code. True. Hindi nag-donate yung isa, no, my friends? So both statements are correct. Any person, first statement, making a donation, whether direct or indirect, unless the donation is specifically exempted under the tax code or other special laws, is required for every donation to accomplish under oath a donor's tax return. This is false. If the donor's tax, my friends, is exempted, my friends, no? Ay, yun pa pala eh. Unless specifically exempted naman pala. So, true siya, my friends. Pardon. True. Kung exempted kasi class, you don't need to file donor's tax return. But you have to secure exemption. 2. Second statement, the computation of the donor's tax is on a cumulative basis over a period of 1 calendar year. True. (43) So the answer is both statements are correct. Which of the following information shall be set forth in the donor's tax return? Okay, my friends. Each gift made during the calendar which is to be included in complete net gifts. Yes. Deductions, claim, and allowable. Yes. Any previous net gifts made during the calendar year. Yes. The name of the donee. The name of the donee, my friends. Yes. Relation to the donor. Under the old, yes. Ngayon, hindi na, my friends. Such further information, yes. The answer here is all of the above. Under the old, but under the new class, excluding 5. Pero wala yun sa choices. 44. The donor's tax return shall be filed within 30 days after the gift is made. Hindi or completed class, made lang, my friends. Unless the commissioner otherwise permits, the donor's tax return shall be filed and the tax paid to the following where the donor was domiciled at the time of the transfer. Authorized agent bank. Yes. Revenue district officer. Yes. This is RDO number 39. If the donor is a non-resident alien without any residence in the Philippines. Sa ano siya class? RDO 39. Yun yung South QC, my friends. Sa Quezon City siya class. Pwede. Revenue collecting officer, yes. Duly authorized treasurer of the city, yes. Actually, 5 yan. Yung pang-5 nasa 46. Yung sagot sa 46. When the donor has no legal residence in the Philippines, the donor's tax return shall be filed. Tandaan to, class. Babayaran mo siya among the following. RDO 39, South QC, ibig sabihin, Commissioner of Internal Revenue. Or the Philippine Embassy. Or in the Philippine Embassy or Consulate. So the answer is dog. Where he is domiciled. Let's say, taga-US ako, class. Pagbabayad ako, pwede dun sa embassy natin sa Philippines, ng Philippines sa US. But for here, your answer is dog. Office of the Commissioner. Kaya 5. yung venue natin. 47, my friends. In order to be exempt from donor's tax and to claim full deduction of the donation given to the donee institutions duly accredited by the Philippine Council for Certification, the donor engaged in business shall give notice on every donation worth at least 50,000. Yes. 2. The notice shall be given within 30 days after the receipt of the qualified donee's institution duly issued certificate of donation, which shall be attached to the said notice. Yes. Yes to 1 and 2. Now, my friends, we are about to answer problems. I want you to consider this. Never mind the choices. We should be answering this new class. Kasi for CP board exam, the examiners, the Board of Accountancy gives us guarantee, no? He gives us guarantee that all questions are new already. New na. So, wala na tayo dapat old, my friends, no? New na. So, as far as the new is concerned, class, forget about dowry. So, if they ask you about the dowry, ang sagot mo, 0. Allow me to erase, my friends, no? Everything. Okay lang ba kayo, my friends? Kung may time pa tayo mamayang hapon, we could discuss some topics, no? Kung meron pa. Kahit wala tayong handout, no, my friends? Tapos naman yung kaunti after nito yung discussion ng kapag meron siyang foreign tax credit sa ibang bansa. We should talk about that, my friends, no? Yung lower amount